What's up, people? Uzbekistan is in a great moment in the world of chess nowadays with the victory in the 22 Olympiad, the rise of Abdusattorov, the rise of Theodorou, and they have many top players. And they are making a close tournament. This is the third edition of the Uzbekistan Chess Cup. And in this event, there are 4 Uzbekistan players and other elite players of above 27 rating. In the first round, face the Grandmaster Madaminov, who is the low-rated player of the tournament, against Nepo, who was 2 times candidate tournament winner. So let's see what happened in this game. Madaminov opened with e4, c5 by Nepo, going aggressive, of course, against the low-rated player of the tournament. It's logical to play for the win. And Nepo goes for the knight of Sicilian, and Madaminov have c4 prepared for this game. The idea of this move is, okay, first is a quiet move waiting for what black is going to do. Now we're still having the possibility of develop the bishop to e3, to g5, this bishop the same, this bishop can go to e2, c4. And the main idea of the move a4 is avoid a future b5 or push a5 in the future to reach more space in the queen side and the b6 square. So that's the main idea of the move a4. Here e5 is the main move of the position, knight f3 and bishop b7, for example, bishop g5, bishop b6, and that's the white idea with a4, just try to play in the light squares facing the dark square bishop of black. 1 year and a half ago I employed the move h6, which is interesting, avoiding bishop g5. Here bishop c4 of course is the logic move. My opponent played bishop e2 and I reached a completely winning position just in the opening. Here with rook e8, bishop f8 and d5 I was completely winning. Instead of that, I started to play knight h7, knight d5, stupid play, and okay, finally I won the game. But let's analyze the game between Nepo and Madaminov. Nepo played h6 here. It's a side move because there are only 10 games in this position with h6. There are other 10 moves who are more employed than h6. But I suppose that Nepo just want to avoid the theoretical prep and just leave the main lines and just play chess. Logic. Decision, bishop c4, e6, sword castle, and here Nepo made an inaccurate move. He played knight c6, who looks completely normal, but Madaminov responds very good with take on f6, pawn takes, and a5. Having a good pawn structure, now the a6 pawn is going to be weak forever. White have this square for the knight, this pawn is annoying too. So great response by Madaminov after knight c6. Just was stronger, prepare the move knight c6. With first bishop b7 and sword castle, normal moves, and later play bishop d7 to after knight c6 if white takes, can recapture with the bishop. So it was slightly better to prepare the move knight c6, but Nepo plays knight c6 directly and Madaminov reached a good position with take on and a4, i5, bishop b7, bishop f4, active play by white, d5, bishop d3, c5, c4 is coming, and d4, so great read by Madaminov taking a rook e1. White is playing very active. It's true that black have a good center and this compensates more or less the position, but white is playing very active and have all his pieces great and with a good development. So black compensation for that is the good central pawns. Instead of rook e1, knight a4 is another possibility, but rook e1 was completely fine. Rook e1, bishop e6, and here Madaminov made a very interesting move, very aggressive, but he had another interesting idea with rook takes e6, trying to open all the light squares, pawn takes and bishop g6. Now the black king have some troubles. King f8 is completely lost because queen e2 attacking e6, and if you defend it, just knight e4 is coming. So king d8 was the only move here, and again queen e2 is interesting, followed by rook e1. For example, bishop d6 is the only defensive move, because if not, rook e1 is coming with winning position for white, so bishop d6 was the only defense, and you can take rook e1, queen e7 and queen d2. And okay, white is slightly better here, but the game is not clear, of course. But white is slightly better because black king is very unsafe. b4 here was another try, bishop d6 and take on c5. This was a different try, and I think that white is putting so much pressure here, but the machine more or less hold the position with black. The difference is in this line, white have an extra pawn on c5 and the piece is very active, but the black king is safer compared with the line with queen e2 here. With queen e2, black keeps all his good central pawns, but the king still being in the center. So rook e6 was very interesting, but Madaminov had another very sharp idea with queen d2. And if black goes short castle, which is just the only logical move, now he played bishop takes h6. Great sacrifice, but and black cannot accept the gift. So Nepo responds very well with c4. If you take on h6, just queen here and the rook is coming to e3, g3 with checkmate. Or queen g5, something like that, and the attack is devastating. The rook will join here, and white is completely winning. For that reason, Nepo plays c4, great move, but okay, Madaminov of course calculated this move previously, and he take on g7, take the rook, and queen takes d3. And now I want to stop in this position because okay, the first play is over, and the position changed a lot in the last few moves. Now white have the position is unbalanced and the material is very unbalanced because white have a rook and 3 pawns, the rook and 3 pawns or 3 pawns for the bishop pair. Of course, white have more material, but the problem for white is that his pawns are hard to mobilize because okay, this pawn is blockaded, this pawn is blockaded by the knight, this pawn have no huge future, and these 3 pawns, the problem is that are in front of the white king. So if you want to advance the pawn, you should open your king, which is not a good idea. If white instead of that have these pawns in the center, and black having this d5 pawn, and white can just advance the pawn in the center, white position could be completely winning. But the problem is that the advantage of white, who is the pawns, are in the first rank. All of them are in the first rank in front of the king and blockaded by his own pieces. So white has many troubles to mobilize the pawns. So that's why a huge problem of the position. But black have another positional problem, who is that his king is exposed and he have no pawns in front of his king. So the position is more or less balanced. I prefer white a little bit because the safer king is very important in the game, especially in the long term. But the machine say just 0.24 white. Bishop g7, good move, and now great rook a4, activating the rook and going for the attack. h3 and 82 are another possibilities, but I like rook a4, queen c7, h3. The machine says 0-0, but I prefer white. And here Nepo made a strange mistake. I really not understand so much this move. He played rook b8. It's easy that it's true that it's not easy to find a move for black. That's true. But rook b8, I don't really like this move because okay, he have the idea of trade the a6 pawn for the b2 pawn. The problem is that the a6 pawn is very important because it's the guy who is stopping the a5 pawn. And now the soldier of a5 is going to run so much after the a6 pawn fall. So and he finally gives a reason to white pawn and white rooks to play. So I don't really like rook b8. This was a decisive mistake. Queen a6. I think Nepo just lost the game in this move with rook b8. It's true that knight c6 wasn't the best, and Madaminov played so well after that. But rook b8 is a very bad move. Just giving the a6 pawn, and white pawn is going to run so much. He take, and great move, regrouping the pieces and leaving the a6 square for give this pawn the free camp to raise. Bishop d7. And here came the only inaccurate move of Madaminov in this game, who played perfect. Instead of rook a1, he should play rook a3. This move is better first, because you are defending the knight. Secondly, because this rook can come to g3 one day to attack, and you are giving this square to the other rook to can help the a pawn. But basically, it's better to just keep the rook in the third rank to attack the black king and defend the knight. He played rook a1, who okay is still winning, but this gives to black the chance to play knight g4. Because okay, with the rook on a3, of course, after knight g4 we can just take the knight, and the knight on c3 is not hanging. So knight g4 by Nepo, and this could be his only resource. He missed the move and he played d4 instead of that. But knight g4 was a great resource. Pawn takes, bishop takes, rook e3, d4, rook h3, rook b5. rook d1, queen a5, queen g3, and bishop e6. And again, white is still being better because this king is very unsafe, and now this bishop is not defending the king. By the way, black is still having some chances. But after d4 by Nepo, just a6, running with the pawn, forgetting the c3 knight, and just running was enough for white. Rook b8, knight e4, good move, trading black defenders and the attacking knight. Queen g4, and now this king is going to have so much troubles because black here have two main problems: the pass pawn and the black king. She cannot defend both. Rook a3, reminding white that he have a weak king. And now the other rook comes to the attack, and after rook b6 and queen e2 here, Nepo just resigns because he can move the pieces. This bishop is pinned, the queen is coming to c4. Yeah, black position is completely lost with his open king. This pawn, black rooks are very active. So Nepo just resigning this position. So great game by Madaminov, playing not 100% but 99% precision. Just only playing rook a3, not the best move, but great game by Madaminov, who beat one of the best chess players in the world, who is Nepo, and he starts great the tournament, taking the leadership. So let's see how continue the tournament. Bye bye.